Today I'm taking a deep dive into what it's like being a farmer's wife, our backstory and how we became farmers, and my role supporting my husband in his endeavors. I'm going to be sharing with you snippets throughout the week of what my life looks like on our farm. And I don't often share this on my channel. I mostly focus on what I do in the kitchen and my role as a homemaker. But quite honestly, my life is so much more well-rounded and full than that, and I don't really share it on my channel. So I thought that this would be a great opportunity to talk about my marriage, life on our farm, how we got started, and what my role looks like in terms of being a farmer's wife. This is kind of my morning routine, getting started with the day. And my husband already got up really early, and he's outside right now with our 2 employees that we have working out there. And they're out harvesting onions, which makes me a little bit jealous because I'm not out there helping with that task. But I am getting things tidied up inside. And I kind of do this every morning, and I spend quite a bit of time just making sure that things are tidied up, because I do not like leaving that until the end of the week when we're done our work week, and then I have a big buildup of cleaning to do. So I try to do a little bit of cleaning every single day, and it really helps keep down the mess, and I just don't have any breakdowns or blowouts because of stress of cleaning. When I got married back in 2010, my husband was not a farmer. We did not live on a farm, and we had very humble beginnings. And back then, he was just kind of figuring out what he wanted to do for the rest of his life and what direction he wanted to go in. And it took several years of working different jobs and trying to figure that out before he decided to become a farmer. It wasn't until the year 2017 that we began our journey together as farmers, and I became a farmer's wife. If you're getting married this summer, or renewing your vows, or you're just on the lookout for a beautiful piece of jewelry to treat yourself, then you've got to go check out MSBLUE. MSBLUE specializes in lab-grown diamonds, moissanite, and gemstones. And I've been treated to a moissanite engagement ring as well as a moissanite pendant necklace. Back in 2010, when I got married, we had very little money. We had a very, very small wedding, so small that we didn't invite pretty much all of our family because we wouldn't have been able to afford to have them there. And we really did it the cheapest way that we could. And so we couldn't afford expensive rings. And the ring that I bought was not made to last a lifetime. It was previously used. It was not a wedding ring. And needless to say, it ended up losing its gemstone about 3 years ago. And so my hand has gone unadorned for the past 3 years. But thanks to MSBLUE, I am able to have a beautiful moissanite gemstone on my ring finger. And if you're not familiar with moissanite, it is a very rare gemstone that was discovered by Henri Moissan back in the late 1890s, a French chemist, and it was discovered in a crater that was created by a meteor that came to Earth. And it's so rare that you will not see it unless it's lab created. It has more fire and brilliance than a diamond. And on the Mohs hardness scale, it reaches a 9.25 to a 9.5, whereas a diamond is 10. And so moissanite is absolutely beautiful. It's colorless and it's made to last for a lifetime. And MSBLUE offers a lifetime warranty on all of their pieces. So I will have links for these two pieces down in my description, as well as a special discount code. You will get 15% off any purchase store-wide using my code. And if I could go back to 2010 and do it all over again, I would definitely choose MSBLUE and these lab-grown moissanite gemstones. MSBLUE also gives back to the environment by donating $2 from every single purchase in their store towards Give Back to Nature, which is an organization that helps plant trees worldwide, especially in areas that have been affected by diamond mining. And they give jobs to the people in those communities to go out and plant the trees. And so they really do care about the environment. It's the backbone of their company and one of the reasons why they do lab grown. And so go check out all of that information on their website. You're getting the most beautiful, elegant, luxurious treatment by shopping at MSBLUE. So go check out that code down in my description box, and let's get back to the video. So back to 2017, when my husband realized that he wanted to be a farmer. And, he actually came from a long line of farmers, so it kind of skipped a generation, but he grew up going over to his uncle's farm, and there was farming in his family, so it's kind of in his bloodline. But anyways, he decided he wanted to be a farmer, but that farm had long since been sold, and there was no generational money to get started. So my husband had to take out a loan. And there is a place here called Community Futures, and they help businesses start up if you have a solid plan. And so he had to put together a plan and everything that he needed to buy to get started. And we had to sign on the dotted line to be able to get some money to get started with farming. And so not only did my husband create himself a job, but he also created a full-time job for me as well, which was great, but there was no way out of it. There was going to be a lot of hard blood, sweat, and tears work ahead of us. And we knew that taking out this loan meant that we were going to be working our butts off, figuring out farming, and we had both previously worked on a farm, so we had a little bit of experience, but to be honest, we were quite green and there was so much to learn, and every year since then has been intense, so much work and so much learning involved. In this little scene here, what you're seeing is that my husband, his crop of onions is ready to go, and he's got radishes. We've been selling radishes for a while, and we've been predominantly a salad greens farm, so he's playing around with some different crops, and he has to figure out pricing and all of that kind of stuff. So he's figuring that out as I'm also working out in the field. It's a very hot day. We're in a heat wave, but we still have to be out here working, and we're just sweating bullets. And it wasn't until our second year of farming that we ended up leasing the land that we're currently on. Our first year we were in a different location, but it was so far away and there was so much driving to do that it just wasn't worth it. And so we ended up finding this piece of land, and we weren't living in the house. We actually leased this land for 4 years before we ended up being able to get into the house. And so this is our 8th season of farming, and I've been a part of this the entire time. We've been working together, figuring it out together as a team, and we've both been working very long hours and sacrificing a lot in order to make this happen. And during that time, we have made a lot of steps forward and expanded our farm quite a bit. But my heart is just in homemaking. I love farming and I love being there with my husband, but it has been off balance for many years. And so part of having my YouTube channel and becoming a homemaker on YouTube is also just because my heart is in the home and I really miss just being a homemaker. And so my husband is taking strides to get enough help on the farm with workers so that my job can be a lot less and so that I can put more attention and focus into the home. And so I really appreciate that he sees my need to be there in the house and that he is really working hard on making this happen, because it's just been a lot of years of sacrifice and I just really miss being a homemaker. And so that's kind of where we're at now. And so he spends a lot more time on the farm than I do currently. And my role is split between homemaking, our microgreens, which we have down in our basement, and then working on the farm. So I kind of go between those 3 things. And then his role is 100% working on the farm and taking orders, dealing with customers, ordering things, all of the things that need to be done. You can see here that we're very sweaty and it's been a really hot day. And so here I am in our basement harvesting microgreens. This is another part of my job, and I am the only person that does the microgreens work. So this is kind of my department, if you will. But back to our marriage. Being married and working together has so many benefits, I would say, because, you know, if you look at other couples that work separately and they both have separate jobs, their life is kind of split and then they have their home together, but their day is spent apart. And working together has been a really big blessing. We've learned so much more about each other from working together, and we joke around a lot when we're working together. And honestly, I miss the days when it was just me and my husband, because there's just such a special bond that we have working on the farm together and kind of bickering back and forth. And honestly, I put my husband in his place a lot. But then there's the other side of it where a lot of our relationship is kind of business oriented and a lot of our discussions are around farm related stuff. And sometimes I have to tell my husband, enough is enough, let's talk about something else. I don't want to talk about the farm. But honestly, I wouldn't trade any of it. We've come such a long way and we have grown so much closer with each other throughout this journey. It's brought us really close in terms of being there for each other. And there's a lot of hard days in farming. And my husband has gone through, you know, some health things. And there's been times where I didn't know if we'd be able to make it as farmers. And so I've had to really be there for him. And then he's had to be there for me. And we're a team. We're a solid team. And I don't think either of us could do this without each other. If I wasn't there for him, I don't know that he could do this, and vice versa. And so my role in the house is also so important because working on a farm is just so physically demanding. And so for him to not have to think about food, what he's going to eat, having a clean house, a made bed, laundry done, these are all things that he appreciates so much for me to be able to take care of so that he can 100% have his head in the game with farming and all the things that he has to take care of. And so that's kind of where we're at today. And so this is a part of our story. I hope you enjoyed hearing sort of our beginnings and how we got started with our farm. Thanks so much for joining me in today's video. And don't forget to go down into my description box and check out Miss Blue. And thank you so much to Miss Blue for sponsoring today's video. I really loved working on this collaboration together. I share content every week on homemaking, food from scratch, and life on our farm. If you enjoyed this video, hit that subscribe button.